I respect him for his scientific knowledge, even though he doesn't recognize it's science.
Isn't that sad that you have to make excuses for believing in something that's science? But you were a nurse. One of the first things that you did in the legislature was you wrote you wrote the first bill for people with HIV here in Texas.
Yes.
Tell us that story.
Well, you know, what shocked me is for people to think that bacteria could determine gender or sexual preference. And I kept saying, it's a communicable disease. Everyone that comes in contact is capable of getting HIV and perhaps even AIDS. It was a shock to me that you had to do so much educating to the public to say this is not going to be confined to a particular segment of the community. It's a communicable disease. It's a virus. And so when I left the Carter administration, Harted Sanger was chairing a Health and Human Services board for the city. And Bill Nelson from the gay community came and had a conversation with her. And she said, you know, he's making sense. And so at that point, I kept saying, from a nurse's standpoint, a virus cannot stand off and look and say, I'm going to get that person. It's communicable. And so it was important to do a lot of educating. I met with ministers, I met with physicians and persons who worked in their offices to talk about this being a communicable disease. And it was so preventable with the right education and prevention. And I must say that I give full credit to the gay community for putting that most important issue on the table, not trying to be ashamed of it, and getting us so we were educated. And we've come a long ways. And right now, the biggest incidence continues to be in the African American community, and many of them are straight people. So it is not confined to the gay community. And I hope that everybody realizes that anybody can be vulnerable if they don't take preventive measures.
And it's not just the African American community, it's African Americans 13 to 24.
And
Yes.
African American women.
Yes.
Sure.
Very high rate.
Yeah. But you were the person that the gay community could go to in the legislature who understood that and was able to translate that to other legislators who picked up on the legislation and it passed.
Yes.
Right.
It did pass. So, thank you
And we're
so much
grateful
for that.
because I think that if we had not given attention, then we'd be in a lot different position now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.